Well, we've been talking about the batsman Bumrah now. I'm really intrigued to talk to you about this new rule that's come up, Prem. I find it very intriguing, funny, all at once. I find it a bit stupid also about firstly being allowed to use saliva, which is a good thing. Mohammad Shami will be smiling. But that other rule of you can change the ball, they're going to use two balls and then you can change the ball at the 15th over, 16th over mark. What's all that, Prem? I find that it there's room for subjectivity, and of course the bookmakers and punters will have a field day betting now on when the new ball will be taken at the 15th or the 16th over.
Yeah, that is one part. Look, one thing I have against the IPL is they keep tinkering for no reason. Uh, they brought in that impact sub thing, which I absolutely hate, because picking the team for the conditions is supposed to be one of the skill sets of the captain, the management, the team management, all of that. You have an impact sub, and look at the way you're doing impact subs. No? Travis Head is going off, and Travis Head, by the way, bowls off spin. But you take Travis Head off so that you can bring in Zampa. You take Sanju. I mean,
Yeah,
Sanju Samson only comes into bat,
yeah.
and Rohit Sharma goes out, and Vinesh Puthur comes in as a pure bowler. It, I don't like that thing at all because it's skewing the game a bit too much. Cricket is supposed to be 11 players against 11 players, not 12
And
against
it's the
12. But
only
right
game,
now,
and it's the only game, Prem, where captain still matters. I think this is
yeah,
increasingly becoming like soccer, where the manager and the coach really has the say in what's happening. I mean, even I find it
correct.
surprising that a Sanju Samson is sitting when he should be leading his flock and taking them together. What's he doing sitting on the bench? It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and in Sanju's case, apparently he has an injury, so he doesn't want to aggravate it by keeping. But then he shouldn't be playing. I mean,
That's true.
anyway, that aside, the new rules look like you said that saliva rule. In any case, if you want to, put your hand in your mouth and then rub it on a ball which has been running around all over the field, and then put your hand in your mouth again for a second helping of saliva, that's your problem. This second ball for the second inning, new rule of a second ball for the second innings of a match. The big problem I have with it, in the first place, I don't see why they need the rule because it's 20 overs. Yeah, how much is the ball going to do? But never mind all that. My single biggest
Prem
problem
is the
is it is
due.
left.
Is the due factor, Prem, is the due factor. The ball gets difficult to grip for the bowler, and the spinners then completely get out of the equation.
Granted, but it's part of the playing conditions. No, these are things that you budget for. These are things that you practice for. But
Yes,
more to the point, my problem is this: it's not going to happen in every match, right? Secondly, it is up
correct.
to the umpires to judge the quantum of due and then decide whether a new ball. This is going to cause. If the
Yes,
umpire takes the new ball, the batting side will complain. If the umpire doesn't give the new ball, a different ball, the bowling side will complain. This is just going to cause
true.
ructions right across the IPL. Whenever there is due, there will be this thing of the bowling side will want a new ball, and the batting side will say, no, the ball is absolutely fine. You can't have that kind of variables and then leave that variable to the discretion of whoever happens to be officiating.
Umpire, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's
I mean, because
that's
there is a lot of room for the big guns in Indian cricket. Some of the big players to intimidate an umpire and force him to change his decision.
yeah,
And we've
yeah,
seen it happen many times. I mean, Dhoni's lost his cool. Kohli's walked on, and Dhoni's
yeah,
walked onto the pitch in the middle of a game. So
yeah.
that can really be intimidating for an umpire. He's anyway under pressure because DRS really makes him look silly sometimes when a decision goes against what he's given on the field, and this is really adding to it now because there will be a lot of
And
argument, lot of negotiation going on.
and see, it's not just overt intimidation, right? I mean, I don't want to name the umpire, but I did speak to one who was probably India's best umpire for a long time before he retired. And he said, when you're standing in a match, depending on the weight of the team, I'm not talking of the quality of the team, but the perception of the team, there's always pressure to rule in their favor. It is not that somebody tells you to rule in their favor, but that
Wow.
inside your head, he says, there is just, you just might unconsciously favor certain teams more than certain other teams. So what he's saying, for example, is if an India is playing against a New Zealand or something, the chances are that your decisions in favor of India. DRS has pulled out a lot of those things because you can always appeal the decision. But here, there
Correct.
is no appeal, right? The umpire decides to
Yeah.
change the ball. The umpire decides to change the ball. What are you going to do about it?
But Prem, doesn't it also make it easier to hit the ball if the ball is you get a slightly fresher ball, slightly harder, and wouldn't it be
See,
easier for the batsman also to hit? So in a sense, it again is balancing it. It's not like it's completely something that will help the bowler 100% because the ball it's
it,
always
it,
easier to hit
bowler,
when the ball is not soft and
yeah, it'll help the bowler for 1 over. See, the thing is, if the dew is heavy enough that after 10 overs, they said that you can change it from the 11th over onwards, right? So if the
Mhm.
dew is heavy enough that the ball is getting soggy by 10 overs, then chances are that by the time you start bowling with a replacement ball, 2 overs later, that ball is also going to get soggy.
That's true.
So none of this seems to have been thought through. It's like, okay, let's do this. So somebody had a
So
bright
what should
idea.
have been done, Prem? What should have been done then? According to you, what do you
No,
think is the thing?
see, my thing is, there are lots of these variables. That's one of the things about cricket, right? As opposed to say other team sports like hockey or football or
Yeah.
something, where conditions don't really come into play that much, or if they do, it is the same for both. I mean, we've seen football matches, even at the World Cup level, being played in pouring rain, but the rain is not pouring
Yeah.
on one half of the pitch and not on the other. It's the same for everybody, right?
Right.
In cricket, a lot of the game is about conditions. For instance, you're making a choice about whether to bat first or bowl first. You're looking for whether there is an overcast, which means that it'll swing. You win the toss. You want to bowl first. Why? Because there will be swing in the beginning, which will go away, or sometimes it's the other way around, right? In some stadia, the lights will provide a certain assistance to the bowlers. So you want to
Yes.
bowl
Yes.
second. All of these are things that you calculate and you budget for,
Yeah.
or
That's
teams
true.
are supposed to calculate and budget for. So what exactly are you doing by trying to, how many of these variables are you going to take out of the equation? Now you're trying to take due out of the equation. You're not going to be able to do it because, like I said, 2 overs, even 1 over, if you keep hitting the ball, it's going to run all over that dew and get soggy.
True.
So
Yeah.
that is not going to change anything. The second part of it is, okay, tell me something. Normally, when we change the ball, a 20 over ball, so what they do is they bring out replacement balls of more or less that same
Like to like. Yeah. Yeah. With the
like to
same
like,
age,
right?
that the same number of
Um,
overs. Yeah. Like to like.
so here, what are you going to do? Are you going to bring a ball that got soggy in the previous match and so you've saved it for a replacement
No.
ball,
No.
or are you
There
going to bring a brand new ball?
without the dew, it'll be the ball which will be dry. It'll be a dry ball. That's basically what they're trying to achieve. They get a dry ball,
So you'll need
which will
a
get wet in an over.
which will get wet in an over. But here's the thing: you're changing it at the 11th over. Are you going to get a 11 over old ball? Do you have that kind of supply with you?
I
If
guess
you're
they're
going to
gonna they're
change
gonna
it,
have those.
if if you're going to change it at 15, do you have 15 over old balls that you're keeping ready for such an eventuality? What exactly were you thinking? And like I said, in some cases, the light does affect the way you bowl.
True.
So how are you going to balance that out now in the next IPL season?
Yeah. It's gonna be a big challenge.
So I
That's
think
true.
I think these things, that's part of the fun of cricket, right? All these variables come in, and despite your best planning and all of that, it can screw with your game plans, and you have to calculate for this. You have to practice for some of these things. There are actual, I know bowlers who are even playing for India, for instance, who actually dip the
Correct.
ball in soapy water and practice
In fact, I think the
because
ball is the single most important thing in the sport. I mean, the
yeah,
bats don't really matter that much. There's uniformity in them, but the nature of the ball and how you keep it, how you maintain it. I mean, that's how reverse swing came about. That's how Dusra came about. In fact, I was reading Moin Ali saying that the one-day cricket format is really dying because of two of the reasons. One is that they've got now balls
two
from
balls.
two ends, so they've got two
Yeah.
balls, and the second is this extra fielder that they put outside the ring, which really makes it so difficult for those at the end to really get those big runs. And that's really taken a lot of the sheen away from one-day cricket. And I think with T20, with this new rule, I just hope something like that doesn't happen, because we don't know what's going to happen. What's going to be the difference? Are the batsmen going to have an added advantage, or are the bowlers really going to get one back and get some semblance of balance in the IPL format? Because it's become too many sixes and too many tall scores. After a while, it gets to you. You want to see a good
Yeah.
contest also, a good 160, 170, or 150 being defended.
Yeah, I don't know how this ball change is going to play out in actual match play and what difference it's going to make. We'll see that sooner or later. But one thing I'm fairly
Yeah.
sure is that there's going to be a lot of post-match conferences where one captain or the other will say the ball was changed and that didn't work for us and that shouldn't have been done and blah blah blah. It's definitely going to happen. One team or the other is definitely going. Every single time the ball is changed, I'll guarantee you, one team is going to be unhappy.
Yeah, we're going to have to look at the press conferences very closely. We'll have lots of
Yeah,
content to discuss then. It should be
yeah,
fun, Prem. I'm really looking
yeah.
forward to this season.
Not just press conferences. You will have the batting side or the bowling side arguing with the umpire on the field of play. The bowling
That's
side will
true.
say, I
Yeah,
want the ball
yeah.
changed. The umpire will say, no, it can't be changed. And then somebody will come in and say, what the hell is this? No, we want it changed. All of that is going to happen.
And it's all good because the
Some,
drama helps. Drama helps. TV happy and broadcasters happy. Advertisers will be happy. This is the IPL, remember. They all will be
you know
happy.
who's,
They
you
all
know
will
who's
be.
not going to be happy about this? Me.
Who?
It's 12:20 right now. I mean, these games go on long enough. On top of that, if you're going to have these disruptions, and by the way, now the disruptions can happen because they've also brought in that other rule saying that the captain will not be banned for slow over rates and all that.
Yeah, yeah. So he won't be worried. It's just a fine.
Yeah, and the fine is not. He's not going to pay the fine. His franchise will pay the
The
fine.
franchise
Yeah.
will. Yeah, he'll foot the
Huh.
bill. Franchise will foot the bill. So it's cool. Great. On
Anyway.
that note, Prem, looking
Yeah.
forward to this crazy 6 weeks now that are coming up. Sorry, you're going to have to watch all that cricket over the next 2 months. So, people, please
My
like,
takes.
subscribe. Prem's here for
Yeah.
the next 2 months. We can torture him enough.
There's that, yeah. I mean, if that's a good reason to like, please like, subscribe, send in your comments, do all of the, good stuff. And we'll see you next Sunday.
Next Sunday it is. See you, Prem. Thank you all.
See you. Take care. Good night.
Hit a long way. Out on the run is Larry. Oh!